Welcome to the Manifestation and Money podcast, where we bridge the worlds of the taboo topic of money with the woo-woo world of manifestation. We're your hosts, Chris and Jenny Schultz.
We're not just about dollars and cents around here. We're all about lifestyle design. You can be working towards financial independence while still living a life you love today.
Get ready for insightful conversations with guests who have embraced the FIRE movement by achieving financial independence and retiring early, as well as entrepreneurs and individuals who defied the norm and have paved their own way to a life they love.
Together, we'll explore the powerful connection between mindset, financial freedom, and living a purposeful life. And of course, we'll be sharing our own journey to how we carved our path to a seven-figure net worth before hitting the big 4-0. Are you ready to ignite your financial future? Then let's dive right in.
Welcome to the Manifestation and Money podcast, where your journey to financial independence and the life you love begins now.
Is the crypto world as clear as mud to you? And can you imagine such a thing as a cashless world? I know for me, that brings up a lot of emotions and intrigue and confusion. And today, Luciënne joins me on the show. The two of us allow each other the space to ask the questions. And I think the beautiful thing about this conversation is that we are normalizing the fact that we don't know everything about cryptocurrency. We don't know everything about this new digital world that is unfolding in front of us, and that it is okay to sit back and ask the questions and educate yourself. Welcome to the Manifestation and Money podcast, Luciënne.
Hi, welcome.
I would love for you to share a bit of an introduction of who you are and what your story is.
Well, my name is Luciënne Koops. I'm from the Netherlands, Europe, but I moved recently to Italy, quite spontaneously actually, and I literally moved everything. That was not the plan, but it kind of like felt right. I'm also a proud mom of 3 young adults. They all live on their own, so that kind of like made my move easy. One lives in London, 2 still live in Holland. And I have a partner far away in Peru. So I'm moving around a lot, which I really love because I like to change in things. And I'm passionate about money, business, and the human being in between all of that.
You're my kind of girl then. So let's dig into that because I really wanted to talk to you about money and your beliefs on the global monetary system and your thoughts on all that, because I know you definitely have an opinion on it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I've been invested into the topic of money for, I don't know, at least a decade, perhaps even 2. Because it's a subject that is, no matter whether you're rich or poor, it is a subject for every one of us. And it really grabs us deep down at the cellular level, I would almost say. So it's a big, big topic. And then I became interested actually how the systems work. And I would advise anyone to educate yourself on that because we take so many things for granted. And when you really dive into it, and you don't even have to dive very deep, then you see like, how is this in favor for us? Because it hardly ever is. I mean, it's in favor for the rich ones who become more rich, but the average Joe or even and those below that average, they keep on struggling actually all their life because it's a really a debt-based system. And the emotional layer underneath is really pushing our scarcity challenges. So it's very emotionally based, but because it's purely based on debt, it's hard to get out of it. So you kind of like struggle your whole life or work your whole life hard or do 2 jobs in a family. And then by the time you retire, you might have the time, but then you don't have the money to enjoy life. So something kind of like doesn't make sense to me.
Isn't that fascinating how we all need money? We all need money just to live, to survive, to provide us with food and shelter. Sure, you can trade and barter for that, but that's still an exchange. But we all need money to some level, yet it's frowned upon or taboo to talk about. And we don't really understand money. When you're talking about the rich, sure, get richer because that's the way the system is designed. So a lot of us, and I just say us as the general human being public, doesn't really understand money. So when you start looking at the monetary systems, where do you see that it's affecting the average person?
Well, one example is that only 3/4 of the planet have even access to the financial system. So there's still 2 billion people like who don't, or unbanked or underbanked. So that's kind of like inequality by design, because it's too costly for banks to give everybody a bank account. That's kind of like their excuse. But then again, shouldn't banking be just like a communal service, something the government supplies and don't make money on it? Like you said, everybody needs money. So why is it such a hard thing to get? And why do you have to really make a great career or whatever in order to rise above that and or become an extraordinary entrepreneur? If you look at money and the way they designed it, then every dollar that is printed or every euro that is printed, actually, finally, if you either earn it or through a loan, you get it, you finally, by the end of the day, you only actually keep 10 cents of it. So there's like 90 cents goes away through taxes, goes away through interest, goes away to, well, many other things, but it doesn't end in your pocket. So even with retirement systems, it's like by the end that you retire, nothing is really left of it, what you spent all this time. And even insurances, I mean, everything. There's so many instances and segments that take away our money, and tax is really number one of them. But
that's
even
mind-blowing. Like 10% of your money is actually yours at the end of the day. So are you saying like that's actually yours to go spend on clothing or the things you want to do? Or are you saying
no, you already have spent that, but you kind of like what you really keep netto after everything is 10% maximum.
Okay, gotcha. That's still money, isn't it?
It's nothing really. So you pay tax over tax and over tax. There's so many different tax systems and layers in tax that even when you die and you will it to your children, whomever, then they have to pay tax again. But it's already been taxed so many times. And then obviously, if we look at the loan part, I mean, credit card scores and those kind of things I don't even want to get into because that's even another story. But just a normal loan, it's just hard to make that financially an interesting thing because you pay so much interest on it. If it's a car, for instance, you literally lose the value of your car, but you still have a loan on the other side. So we're constantly in this, I would almost say, we walk around in a loop, in a circle, and we don't really get out of it unless you literally take some risks and step out of it.
What kind of risks do you feel are worthy of stepping outside of the current system?
Right now, decentralized solutions is definitely the biggest way out for us. But even there, the net is closing in on us very rapidly. So
you're talking about like cryptocurrency type things?
Yeah, cryptocurrency is the main thing. But if you don't like to trade, you can still hold some crypto. I mean, just invest a little bit in it. Obviously, it's very volatile. I mean, there's a whole other topic about this. I think we can fill another podcast with that. But the essence of decentralized solutions is the fact that it's decentralized and that you literally own it and you keep ownership of it and nobody can touch it. Right now, if you look at your bank account, you see a number of digits. Hopefully it's a long one before the dot, before the comma, but it's not yours. Officially, it's not yours. If the bank gets into trouble and if you read down really like all the nitty-gritty detail, then in the end, they don't have to pay you back. I can't remember the English phrase for it, but it's like you are entitled to use that money. But if that entitlement is taken away for whatever reason, because there is a disaster happening, or like we saw in 2008 with the Iceland banks and with the whole crisis in the USA, I mean, obviously that went around the whole Western globe. You literally saw that people just lost their money from one day to the other. Well, how is that possible? If you give your money away to someone to take care of it, how can they lose that?
Yeah, that's so true. You are putting your trust in somebody else. And even with the decentralized system, in a sense, and I can only speak from personal experience here, I'm fascinated by crypto and the idea of it. Bitcoin, for example, they're not creating more, right? So it's not like if you look at our governments right now who are every day just printing more money to pay their own bills, and that's devaluating our dollar as fast as we can earn it. Whereas crypto has that solid backing that there is only so much, therefore the value is more set.
I really believe that the whole decentralized solution, the blockchain technology, is invented almost as a gift to us humanity. It's on a platter here. If you want your freedom, if you want to keep your sovereignty, if you want to stay autonomous, then here is the solution.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously those in power, I mean, money and power is kind of like equal on this planet.
Right.
And those in power don't want to lose their power. They're not so much interested in money itself because, like you say, they can print a dollar whenever they like, or they are so wealthy they don't even know how much they have and they will never lose it. But they are interested in power. That's their game because they're used to it and they don't want to give up. Nobody in power actually wants to give it up if you're not so conscious. So the decentralized solutions, the challenge with that is they put a lot of fear on it. The same that they did with the internet around 2000 or in the 90s. Like, oh, the internet is going to corrupt the whole world and everything is going to be a disaster and we're going to lose everything, etc. They're doing the same with crypto now for at least a decade. And they're succeeding in it in a way because a lot of people don't even want to touch it. And even myself, I haven't even invested in crypto. I invest in other things in decentralized solutions, but not in crypto itself. Because I have this challenge with crypto, I lost a lot of money with it, and it just touches me again. As soon as I get behind the computer, I'm like, oh, in case I do something wrong again, I'll lose it again. So what I find important or relevant for, and that's why it's so interesting right now, decentralized solutions and consciousness go together. In the sense that for me, becoming more aware of what's happening and of yourself and become a more conscious person in all aspects of life means that you also take the responsibility of your role on this planet within the small circle of your family, your friends, in your society, in your village, but also on the aspects that make life on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
So as we don't know anything about our financial situation, most of us in general, we just go to the bank and we pay and we put the payment system on our phone without thinking. We just do it all blindly. We literally don't know. With crypto or with decentralized solution, you are required to educate yourself. You cannot do that just blindly because once you have this decentralized wallet, you get a key with it, a private key. And in case you lost your password, you have a second key as a backup. But you have to keep that really safe and don't get scammed online because you used the wrong browser. You have to invest again also in how to secure yourself. Mm-hmm. So for decades, if not ages, we just went to the bank and we said, okay, you can take care of our money. We trust you without looking into it. That's not possible with decentralized solutions, at least not that easy. So we are invited to become more self-responsible, and therefore you need to become more conscious. Mm-hmm. And that's for me like why money and consciousness really work together as like polar opposites almost, but they can collaborate together. Because I always say the question, what would happen if 10 million people, fully highly self-aware people, will become centimillionaires? They all have 100 million. We would create an amazing new planet here because they would spend money on the right projects and on the right inventions, and will make sure that the community profits of it or shares in it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if I really answered the question, or perhaps I got carried away, but
no, it's all good because this is a different world for a lot of us. Like crypto and DeFi and all of that, it's a new world for all of us, right? So there's a lot of questions. It's as clear as mud for me. Like I'm still learning, right? Yeah. Because you talk to different people and every time you just kind of start seeing a different piece to the puzzle and you're like, oh, that's what that means. And oh, that could lead to this and I could do that.
Yes.
So it's opening a whole different world to us of opportunity and options that we normally had go plunk your money in the bank. So when you say you don't invest in crypto coins per se, what does that look like for you? Like, so you're still using a decentralized wallet?
Yeah, well, I've decided to become a founder or co-investor in an angel syndicate. So that's like highly experienced people with an amazing track record who saw the problem appearing of there are not many decentralized wallets. I mean, let's put it differently. There are a lot of platforms who are very mainstream, where people, if they do buy crypto, they use these platforms, but their wallets are still centralized. That means that your KYC, and if you show your passport and register yourself and you don't get a private key of your wallet, but you can only get an access to the platform, and then you put it in a wallet. It's not your wallet, it's a centralized wallet. And the pressure on centralizing these cryptocurrency and on all these platforms is huge. And in Europe, it's going super fast. I cannot even buy crypto easily. I immediately get a phone call that I cannot upload any more money, or the shift from fiat currency to crypto is very limited. What it meant for me, because I was so uncomfortable with buying crypto, but I still so strongly believe in decentralized solutions for us, humanity, and for our future. I found this club and they found me. Anyway, basically we found each other, let's put it that way. And that was spot on for me, because they know the tech, they know the market, they have been in there since the beginning. They have created normal banks, neobanks. So they have the whole experience, and they're now developing solutions to make crypto and fiat currency, this bridge actually, make it very accessible. Like they say, with one of their solutions is a software platform. And they say Granny would be able to use this because it's so simple. So they really want to make the ramping on and the ramping off, fiat on and fiat off. Towards crypto, they want to make that so easy that everyone can do it and that it is fully decentralized. So their mission is to really support the freedom of humanity. Yeah.
Sorry if I'm asking too many questions here, but I figured that's the name of the game here. So in this other platform, say, for example, I go to my bank or I go to a cryptocurrency platform and I buy it. They have my social security number. They have everything. The government knows exactly how much I personally have in those accounts, right?
Yes.
They're tracking it. So this other platform, does that mean it's a complete platform where your money is in there and you are the only one that knows what you have going on in there? Or do you still have that track record?
Yes and no. No, you don't have the track record. If you upload fiat currency, and then it's automatically stuck in a cryptocurrency, and then you can later choose to shift that into another currency if you like that better. But they just picked what's the best option in that moment, and it's where they put your money in. So that's in your decentralized wallet. But there is also an option that you can literally, because we all still pay taxes if we like a good civilian, we a citizen. So they completely go along with the normal regulations. And so you just can print out your tax declaration, to make it very easy even for you.
Okay.
So it's not, in that sense, like you saying, they don't have a KYC process. So that's a big difference with your security number, which is with most platforms being stored. But they do want to completely acknowledge being just a normal citizen and just do the duties that we all have to do. So they don't want to go off
so it's
or whatever.
It's not some underground, it's all
not at all
underground. Okay.
It's the opposite.
No,
it's the opposite. Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah.
Well, that is fascinating. Yeah. Any other piece of information around that you think the average person needs to know
about this platform?
Yeah.
Specifically?
Sure.
I think what our decentralized solutions are part of Web3. And we're currently now using the internet as Web 2. The current internet is Web 2, which means that when we just started with the internet, nobody really know what am I going to do with the internet? I don't know if you remember that YouTube became online, and I was looking at it the first time. I was like, who is ever going to upload a video here? That must be crazy, Well, we can't even live without YouTube anymore, Who doesn't watch it every day? And we're kind of in the same phase with Web3. So I don't pay anything in crypto right now. I don't have to pay anything in crypto, but there are a lot of companies who are already paying out in crypto or accepting crypto money. So those who are at the front already are involved in Web3 and really applying it also to the day-to-day businesses, they can see the huge advantage of a solution like the name is Trustify, of this platform. So they easily understand the uniqueness of it and how it can solve many problems and how it will make our lives easy. So you kind of have to see this platform like we had Facebook for the first time, or we had YouTube for the first time. Like nobody was like, do I really need this? I don't think I need this, but we will in a couple of years, or even sooner. Depends how fast it goes on the other side with the centralized oppression, I could say. I can't even imagine how fast it will go, but it will go exponentially fast. And the same thing will happen with tokenization, which is another way to use smart contracts and to make, for instance, like a property. If you have like a big building that needs to be built with 100 apartments, and the project development costs like 100 million, and normally you would go to an investor and ask for money. But what if you can split that 100 million into 100,000 different contracts? And then you and I can buy one contract, and then we become co-owner of that building through this smart contracts, fully automated. So it's literally on the dot. It's done in a few seconds. You don't have to go to the notary. You don't need a lawyer and all the things. So it's very fast. And then we all can co-own and co-share properties, for instance. We've already seen this happening in the NFTs with the art. We saw that like a couple of years ago. That was very booming. And it's the same idea. And now that will become, art was kind of like the first, I would almost say, test case, like how it would really work out. But if you do it in properties, it's totally different, or in a car, or well, whatever you want to buy. You can have these smart contracts, which is completely transparent, which is, by the way, another huge benefit of decentralized solutions, that transparency, it's not possible to make it not transparent. It's by design transparent. So you literally can see all the records, who has paid to whom, without any external party can take something away of it, or can block it, or can influence it. So yes, all your payments are seen by the system, like all the USA political candidates right now being supported with cryptocurrencies. We can literally see who is supporting which candidate if they pay in crypto.
Yeah, it is really going to be interesting to see how the scope of it plays out in our life moving forward. Because right now it's kind of like the tip of the iceberg, right? There's so many different ways it can go, and bigger and better. And as more people get on board, it's just going to become a way of life. Like, I think if you and I sit down 10 years from now and have a conversation similar to now, we're going to be amplified. I'm probably going to have a heck of a better understanding of what's going on, right? But it's going to be really fun to watch the spiral and see how this all plays out.
Definitely. Yeah.
And I would love to ask you one question, which I always love to ask, and that is, what is your biggest piece of advice for someone who is trying to create a life they love?
First, find out what you love doing, which is not an easy question for many people. So daring to do what you love doing, even if you only start with 1 hour a day, just literally start doing that, because it becomes too complicated if you want to immediately turn it into a business, and it also needs to earn money, and then you bump into so many problems potentially that you lose your excitement about what you actually love doing. And because the money, again, is the emotional part around money, and the scarcity fearings and all those kind of things is so attached to it, that we have to release that first and just literally do what you love doing for at least 1 hour a day, and do it consistently, and then see if you can create something out of that. Because once you have found that, then I think we will, even in 10 years' time, talk differently about the word work. I don't feel I'm working. I'm just do what I love doing. And with some I make money, and with some I don't make money. And with others, it's still frustrating, but I still love doing it because it's what I love doing. I wish for everyone actually to be able to do that, because I don't think work should be a struggle. I think work should be a joy. It should be your passion. At least your passion should shine through it, and you can develop yourself and show your qualities and unleash all your potential. And secondly, educate yourself. I mean, I'm really not at all an expert on decentralized solutions. I know very little about it, but I try to understand the essence of it, like the bigger play, and to understand why it's useful and why it's not useful, and what we need to take care of still, and where I don't believe in easy money in any case, but especially not in crypto. There is no easy money there, but educate yourself, but also educate yourself on like how it's done now. And with the centralized digital currencies coming along, I don't know how fast that will go, but if they have it their way, it will be done in 25, 26. Then we have another play. We have a centralized currency and we have a decentralized currency, and we might not have cash anymore. How does that world look like? I don't even want to think in that way. So we have to understand what is at play here. We really have to understand it. There's so much information out there. I mean, you're doing amazing work with your podcast, informing people, and so many others online sharing information. So it doesn't take long to get some understanding of it, but there needs to be a willingness to do it. And I think that's even a bigger hiccup than the fact that the information is not to be found.
Yeah.
So the other thing is, besides taking some risks in the sense like release your attachment to money, as even if it's just a baby step, but try to let go of, I don't have enough money, or can I pay my bills? And try to ease into that. Really create a relationship, like a loving relationship with money, like how you would treat your partner you love. Also love money like that. Really embrace it and see it as a beautiful frequency that can help you, and that gives you food, and that gives you a nice evening out, and just be so grateful for that. So yeah, change your relationship with money. And I think there because that releases the tension underneath it. It doesn't create money immediately on the other side. Let go of that expectation as well, but ease into it, because getting tensed about it doesn't create more money and doesn't give you a better life, and doesn't open you up to more possibilities. So it doesn't open you up to synchronicities either. So it's all a frequency game. And money, often when you fear it, it's at the lowest frequency. So we have to amp ourselves up in our frequency, and then money will just flows in and out. Even one other thing I would like to add as an advice, we really have to release us being the victim. Even though if you dive into the centralized systems, and they are really ugly and bad, and they can be very negative. I mean, give a negative feeling about the power play, but it's a game, and we're not a victim. We step fully aware in that if we wish to be aware. Everything is transparent, what they're doing. Everything is to be found, so we're not a victim of it. So we can also choose to empower ourselves.
So much goodness there. And I loved at the beginning of all of that, the dare to do what you love. Why do we have to dare ourselves to do what we love? I think that is the point of life. Can you lean into what you truly love and allow yourself to go do that thing or those things? And
yeah, for those who have literally spent a decade or more on achieving something in a career, if you spend that much of energy, you can also spend that much of energy of really finding out what you love doing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I'd love for you to share where guests can reach out and connect with you.
Well, my name, Luciënne Koops, is like where I can be found anywhere. So my website is luciennekoops.com. My social medias are all under my personal name: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. It's all Luciënne Koops. So that's easy.
Perfect. Luciënne, thank you so much for joining me on the show today.
You're welcome. It's great. Thank you.
Hey, wait, before you go, do you want to increase your income by $1,000 a month? If so, check out our free side hustle guide at www.4leaflifestyle.com/money ideas. I'll pop it in the show notes for easy access.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Manifestation and Money podcast. If you enjoyed today's conversation and want to continue your journey to financial empowerment and creating a life you love, be sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review.
Come follow us on Instagram at Manifestation and Money Podcast or at 4Leaf Lifestyle for more inspiration and behind the scenes content. Remember, your life is yours to live. Your financial freedom journey is as unique as you are. So hop in the driver's seat. It's time to create the life of your dreams.